When I was a little boy, my mama always used to tell me, son, put on your thinking cap whenever I would have problems doing my arithmetic. Well, mama, I put on my thinking cap, and I wish more people would do that these days. What's up, guys? This is the Gospel According to Mark with a C. He is I, and I am he. Just taking some time to tell you exactly what's on my mind. Thank you for joining me once again, my friends. I have come across this very interesting article in the Daily Mail, and I just want to bring it to you guys' attention. You might remember a few months ago, me and my good brother Drunk 3PO did a stream talking about critical race theory. Other people made streams debating and talking and discussing about what we discussed on that stream. We're very proud of it. But anyway, a lot of them missed the entire point of what we were trying to say, though. It was very interesting and amusing to behold. But anyway, along those lines, we have this article here in the Daily Mail talking about the goings-on at AT&T. It appears that AT&T are the latest company out there that's telling their employees that they are the problem if they're white. If you're white, then you are what's wrong with this country. Racism is your fault. Okay, so let's get into this, guys, because there is a cautionary tale for everybody here. And the main thing that I want to tell you guys, I'm going to save to the end, all right? Because this is something I believe maybe I've neglected to say over the months when I've been talking about this kind of thing. But let's get into this, guys. Let's look at the headline right here, and I'm going to leave the link to this in the description. It says here, "You are the problem." AT&T tells white staff that they are racist and asks them to confess their white privilege and to promote defund the police as part of a re-education program by CEO John Stankey. I kid you not, his name is John Stankey. I have to imagine that part of the problem growing up with that name might have led to his outlook on life. John Stanky, do the stanky leg. Who's the white pencil dick who can't get sex from none of the chicks? Stank! Can you dig it? I hear that cat Stank is a bad mother. Shut your mouth. I'm just talking about Stank. We can dig it. All right, so it goes on and it says here, white employees of AT&T have been told to read an article saying that they are racist and are told to confess their white privilege and acknowledge systematic racism and must engage with set texts or else they will be penalized in their performance reviews. So they have to confess. Confess. It doesn't matter who you are. Okay, what if you're half white? Do you just write half a confession? You have to confess that you are racist and that you are a beneficiary of white privilege. If not, it says here, you will be penalized. You see, guys, this is the problem that I have with this mandate society that we're in today. Okay, we don't realize how dangerous it is to take into our consciousness that mandates are a thing when you talk about governing people. You can't make people do shit all across the board this way. All right, thinking this way is what leads to things like this: thought control, sensibility control, accountability control, when accountability is best when it comes from yourself. No one else can say you're accountable for something without being able to prove that you are indeed guilty of that thing. You just can't say that somebody is racist just because they're white. This only flies with people who have no experience in the world whatsoever. I've told many stories over the years on this very channel about my experience with other cultures, with white people. And if you've actually gotten out of your fucking house and met people, you would know that you just can't say that white people are racist or that white people just inherently have privilege. You just can't do that. Okay, I've known some fucking dirt poor white people in my life. I've known some filthy rich black people in my life. It doesn't fucking work that way, okay? So anyway, going on, all right, before I start ranting and raving and shit. In the aftermath, okay, it says AT&T, in the aftermath of the George Floyd murder. Of course, George Floyd. Like I said before, George Floyd has got to be Jesus. Jesus walked the earth in the form of George Floyd because he died for the sins of the world. I've said this many times. So in the name of George Floyd, AT&T introduced an internal program called Listen Understand Act. It's the Listen, Understand Act. It says, John Stankey, the CEO of AT&T, wrote to the company's 230,000 employees in April 2021 in an email obtained by journalist Christopher Rufo and published on his website. Stankey, who took over as CEO in July 2020, urged his workers to make the most of the resources provided by AT&T's anti-racism portal. As individuals, we can make a difference by doing our part to advance racial equality and justice for all, he wrote. If you're looking for tools to better educate and inform yourself on racial equality, resources are available at Listen, Understand, Act. We encourage you to actively participate in our recently launched Equity First Learning Experience, a new initiative to increase awareness and action around our value to stand for equality. Most employees are not forced to engage with the Listen, Understand, Act program, but managers at AT&T are now assessed annually on diversity issues. Once again, what I was just talking about with the Rotten Tomatoes article, you put people in positions of influence that can now be empowered to discriminate against the people who are under their charge. So it doesn't matter if all employees are mandated to do this. If you get the managers who just have enough empty-headed, space in their brains to take on this conditioning and programming, then they are now in a position to discriminate against these people who don't think that way. You understand what I'm saying? Now, it says here, most employees are not forced to engage with the Listen, Understand, Act program, but managers at AT&T are now assessed annually on diversity issues with mandatory, there's that word, guys, I'm telling you, this shit is coming back to bite us in the ass. Nothing should be mandatory. Okay, not when it comes to a person's ability to be able to free and critically think. Okay, there are some things that have to be mandatory. Okay, like you just can't go in and start beating the shit out of people at work. But as far as the way people think and what they take into their hearts and their souls, you can't control that shit, man. Stop trying. But there it is. Okay. So they're assessed annually on diversity issues with mandatory participation in programs such as discussion groups, book groups, mentorship programs, and race re-education exercises, according to Rufo's source. Okay, book clubs, mentorship programs. This is the white man's burden, guys. This is that racist bullshit where people are putting themselves in a position where they feel like they're obligated to civilize the savages. You see what the fuck this is and why it's not good for anybody. Okay, because I'll say to white people, you might be outraged that you're being forced to do this and forced to think that way when you don't think that way. But on the other side of it are black people who actually have already been conditioned to see themselves as victims. And that is even more dangerous because they're raising their children that way. Okay, so at least you know if you're racist or not. Too many black people don't know that they're not victims and that they are the masters of their own destiny. And that's the reason why shit like this exists in the first place, to keep them on that thought plantation. You know what I mean? So there's the danger for everybody. There's why the fuck I'm talking about this. Okay, because some people are like, you're always caping for white people. Kiss my motherfucking ass. All right? I understand, coming out of the community, how dangerous and how damaging this way of thinking can be for black people. That's the reason why your ass is stuck in the hood and your kids are stuck in the hood and it becomes generational. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. That is my concern. So miss me with that caping for white people bullshit. Okay, it's wrong for white people, but it is wrong for black people. And I'm talking about that shit for that reason. Okay, everybody, I'm not tribal in my approach. So anyway, I read that part. So it says here, the source told Rufo that employees are being asked to sign a loyalty pledge to keep pushing for change. They are encouraged to sign up to intentions such as reading more about systematic racism and challenging other language that is hateful. The source, described as a senior employee, said, if you don't do it, you're racist. All right, so that's the end of that article, guys. And let me point something out to you guys, all right, so I can wrap this shit up. I got to get my breakfast. It's early. But the part that I keep forgetting to tell you, all right, when it comes to stories like this and initiatives like this, there's a lot of black people out here who do not respect white people who adopt this way of thinking. All right, because a lot of us understand just how condescending it is and how damaging it can be, like I just got through saying. Okay, so don't let these people lie to you by saying that this is something that you must do or else you're racist, because in fact, the people who come up with this bullshit is racist. They're racist. We are well past the time of giving these people the benefit of the doubt by thinking that they're just misguided, okay, and well-intentioned. They're not. This is 2021. We understand by now that these people these liberals who are posing as being beneficent, for black people and for marginalized people all over the place, they are no such thing. Malcolm X talked about this fucking 50 years ago, guys. All right, beware of the white liberal. 50 years at least. What have we seen of white liberalism? It fucks us up. It fucks everybody up. Okay, so when you got CRT being taught in the schools, when you got shit like this being taught in the workplace, we can't take another 5, 10, 15, 20 years of this shit. We have to call it out. And that's why the hell I'm doing this video. That's why I talk about it. That's why I will remain consistent on this. I have to push back against this shit on my very own family when they start talking to me. All right. One of my family members told me that I'm being annoying by saying shit like this. Well, it is what it is. If I'm annoying, then I guess I'm doing my job, because sometimes the truth hurts. All right, guys, so that's it. You can get in the comment section and tell me what you feel about this. Like I said, the link will be in the description so you can check it out yourself. As always, you can like, you can share, you can subscribe. And guys, my subs are up, my views are down. That's just the way YouTube goes, all right? So help me out and like, share, subscribe, and catch me on Twitter. If not, I will see you on the next one. Thank you for listening. This is The Gospel According to Mark with a C. Rock on.